Netop Vision is a paid lab management software program. It has many great benefits to a general computer lab, but can really be used to make a digital language lab function very smoothly. So first we're going to go ahead and open up Vision. When you open Vision, you'll see on your dashboard all of the students within your classroom, a thumbnail of each machine. If you change the view to login name, you also see which students are logged in on which machine. On the right, I have the same two machines that I have in my classroom, remotely controlled through different programs. So you can see what's happening on the student machines at the same time that we can see what's happening on the teacher's console. The first feature I want to talk about in Vision is one of the very basic functions of a lab management program. It's being able to live view and remote control the machines. To live view on a machine, we're going to double click on the student's thumbnail, and we get basically a window into the student's computer. I can't click on anything, but I can see what they're doing simultaneously while they're doing it. Oh, the student just went ahead and opened Chrome. If I decide I'd like to take over the student's machine, I double click one more time. Here I'm in control of the machine. At the same time, when I'm remotely controlled, there's an icon that appears in the bottom system tray, this green monitor screen. It's saying my machine is being remotely controlled. If the students don't notice that, they'll notice that they do not have control over their mouse or keyboard anymore by default. You can give the students control over their mouse and keyboard by clicking on this icon right here, which allows the student to control the mouse and you to control as well. To let go, we just hit the X in the top corner. Being able to direct students to a particular website or open a particular file is extremely beneficial and time-saving, whether in a regular computer lab or in a digital language lab. It's pretty straightforward to do within Vision. We're going to go up here to the Start Application feature and force the application to open. On a little side note, you need to make sure that the computers that you're using are the same type of system. The computer on the left is a 32-bit machine. The computer on the right is a 64-bit machine. My computer is a 64-bit machine. So the path to particular applications is different under a 32-bit machine than a 64-bit machine. I'll never be able to open Skype remotely using this feature this way. So you need to make sure that all of the computers in your room are the same processor so that the programs are open the same way. If I want to run a particular website, in this case an MP3 file that's on a website, I add the HTTP so the computer knows that I'm trying to go online, and I paste the web address. This will open the website on the default browser on each machine. The file will run as close to simultaneously as possible. It'll be a few seconds delay between machines. I can do the same thing with a YouTube video and get all the students to watch the same video at the same time without having to create a link anywhere. Okay. Again, slightly off, pretty close to simultaneous. Another element I can do, which is really beneficial, is I can force all the students to the same file. Because this is on a shared network drive, you want to make sure you have the same drive letter, that all the students see the drive as the same drive letter. And because it's on a shared network drive, this will run closer to simultaneously than a web file will run. This is a definite bonus in a language lab when you want to make sure everyone's listening to the same audio files. The demo mode in Vision works well to demonstrate what's going on my machine, but doesn't work very well with videos. I can, however, decide to do a windowed demo. In my demo, the students will see what's going on my screen on their screens. I can show a PowerPoint video, I can show an executable list of all the files that I wanted to show, or so they can see something that's going on. If I have a presentation I want them to see a particular program or how to actually use something, and either the projector in the room isn't all that tremendous or I don't have a great projector, they can see what's going on up close on their own machines. Additionally, I can show a video, but they wouldn't be able to hear the audio file that goes with it. To end the demo mode, I hit stop. The chat feature of Vision is an excellent feature that cannot be matched by the free lab management programs. To enable chat, we go to the View menu and click on Chat. This opens a separate chat window. On the student machines, they'll see in the bottom of their screen the chat bubbles appear. Close that up. All right. What I can do is I can send a message to my entire class. Oh, I can start a chat window in the entire class. Everyone is involved in this. Okay. I hit enter. It's just like the days of instant messaging. I can close this up. When I close as the teacher the window, it ends the chat session on the student machines. I can also create a new chat session. I can assign particular students to this chat session, so I can create different groups, a small group of students, and they all can chat and have a conversation amongst themselves. Only these students are involved in this chat. So right now I'm going to be chatting between the teacher and just this one student. The student sees this chat. And the student can reply back and forth. I can assign any number of students to this chat. When I'm finished, if I close the chat is gone. I, as the teacher, can save the conversation somewhere to have access to later on. I can then open it up and I can see who had this conversation. This is a great thing to do a classroom debate, to do practicing. I had a Spanish teacher I used to work with. She used to do this to have the students practice typing conversational Spanish. Even if you're not using the individual chat rooms, the students can chat and converse back and forth with you. So as a student, I can send a chat request. By default, all chats are rejected, which is what this window says, using this button. I can, however, unreject them and see the chat queue, and I can see the message that was sent to me. I can reply back and have a conversation. I can have a conversation with the student. The student sees it on their machine and it can go back and forth. This would, if the sound effects aren't turned on, this could work nicely in a quiet online testing or an online assessment system where you're doing an individualized assignment where students aren't supposed to be talking to one another. We're going to go ahead and close chat and use one more piece of Vision that is really appealing to me, and this is the surf lock feature. There are times in a classroom that students need to be working on an assignment, writing a paper, and they shouldn't have web access. I use this lock web feature. I see the lock on the student machine thumbnails. When I go into the student machines, they are told that their web access is locked. They can't get online. They can't do anything online. Google, they get the same response. If the students, it's instantaneous. If I release surf lock, it automatically will redirect, or the students do not need to reopen their browser. They've got rights to go and it releases the web filter. Vision also has an element where I can do a resource list. This resource list allows me to say I'm going to restrict you to only to the websites I want you to be able to access. In this case, I have it limited to just Walled Lake Schools. I can access Walled Lake Schools and anything underneath Walled Lake Schools with the WLCSD.org domain, but I can't go to another website beyond that. It is locked. And the same thing, I can turn off a resource list and turn on a block list, which allows me to go to any website I want except anything on my blocked list. Great, huge feature. All right, we'll go ahead and turn that off. Turn our filter off. Okay. All right. The last feature is the very basic use of a lab management program. Besides being able to view and remote control, I want to be able to turn on, off, and log off my machines. To log off an individual machine, I choose that machine and I hit log off. I'm going to force everything to close even though I don't have anything open. I lose my connection to Vision immediately, but you'll see my computer has been logged off. The nice thing about Vision is it doesn't lose its connection entirely. It just drops it for a second. I can then log back into the machine. And the student reconnects to the class. I can do this with the entire class as well. If I have students who are running late, they forget to log in or log off their machines, I select the entire class and log them off. I can also shut them down the same way. Vision will also turn the computers back on from scratch. It takes a few minutes for them to actually kick on all the way, but they will wake up from a turned off state. Right now I'm going to go ahead and shut down the computers, force all the programs to exit, and it will shut them down.